Welcome to El Salvador, Central America's best kept secret. I spent 12 days backpacking this beautiful country and I'm bringing you with me for every unforgettable moment. We kick off in San Salvador, where I joined 2 walking tours, to hopping on local buses and travelling like the locals do. Check out the colonial streets of Suchitoto, heading to the beach on the Pacific coast to El Zonte with black sand beaches and rainstorms, Santa Ana City. Then I tried to climb the Santa Ana volcano not once, but twice, and failed. Wandering through ancient Mayan ruins, pupusas, and hostel life. And finally, meeting and smiling with locals. So if you're a traveller craving culture, history, nature and connection, now is the time to visit El Salvador, and I'm about to show you why. So let's go. The journey from Vancouver is long. There is no direct flight, so the best route I found was a flight down to San Francisco with a transit of a few hours before hopping on an Avianca flight to San Salvador. Landed in San Fran, now I'm in a sort of 3 to 4 hour layover. I'm about to board the Avianca flight to San Salvador. I'm getting excited now, this is it. I can feel the backpacker in me getting really excited for this trip. 1 month, overland, no real plan. I've got an interview tomorrow and the day after. With 2 local people in San Salvador, and I'm there for 3 nights, including tonight. I might extend and do a day trip somewhere else, we'll see. But yeah, really looking forward to the trip. It's a glorious day in San Fran in California. Let's go. After some lounge action and a 5-hour flight from the US, I arrived into the country and I was excited to explore. Immigration was a dream. No queues, visa on arrival, very smooth, and a lovely new airport to arrive into. Right in El Salvador here, and it's absolutely sweating, 30 degrees. Met my driver, about to drive to San Salvador, 45 minutes to the city from the airport. Let's go. I went from 5 degrees to 30, but don't worry, I absolutely love it. San Salvador Airport is a 45-minute drive from the city. There's no visible way to transport other than taxis, so I booked one with my hostel ahead of time, costing $35 US. You may be able to get it for 20 to 30. I've arrived at my hostel, Volcano, and I'm tucking in to this. Pupusas. Going for beans and cheese. She asked what ketchup, I said nah, we'll do it as it is. First taste, these taste unbelievable. Let's have a little look. Here we go, get these. Top notch. Volcano Guest House is my accommodation of choice. It's about a 25-minute walk to the main part of the city, and a private room costs $33 a night, and it comes with breakfast. Be warned, the staff do not speak English, so Spanish is needed. Morning. Epic day yesterday. Left my apartment in Vancouver at about 4:15 a.m. and arrived into San Salvador hostel that I'm in here about 10:30 p.m. CST, so that would be about 8 p.m. PST, but a long ass day. Got in last night, had some food, and went straight to bed. I was done in. But this morning, I am awake. Oh, God. Chances of that. There you go. I did not plan that. That is unbelievable timing. As you can tell, I got up early in that. Slightly buzzing, to be fair. I didn't get that much sleep, maybe 6 hours, but I think I'm just anticipating the day ahead. I've got a fantastic day ahead here. I'm going to have breakfast here at the hostel. So I'm going to take a walk into town, get a feel for the city, walk in the centre a bit, go for a coffee probably, and just walk around and get some sights. I'm not going to see all the sights though, as I have a walking tour booked in later with Dave. But before we do the walking tour, Dave is coming to this hostel, and he's agreed to come on the podcast for 20-30 minutes to talk about San Salvador and El Salvador. So he's going to meet me here at 2 p.m. We're going to record the podcast, I think, in the dining room, and then we're going to go out and do his walking tour, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to meeting some locals. I've got another one booked in tomorrow with Carlos. So they're roughly the same sort of walking tours, but I love meeting people. So right now, I'm dressed and ready to go. It's going to be breakfast and taking a trek into the city of San Salvador. How exciting is this? This is pretty much day 1 of my month-long backpacking trip in Central America, and I'm buzzing for it. What a gorgeous day. Out and about in town now, so I'm going to make the walk down to the central part
It's going to take 30 minutes. I'm going for a trendy coffee first. Not had a proper strong coffee since yesterday. So we're just walking down the streets of San Salvador. Very quiet. It's a Sunday, so not expecting to be too busy. I'm out for a few hours. Oh god, we've got chaos up there. Squirrels. Around this corner, down the main road. So let's go on a little walk and show you some sights and sounds of El Salvador. I'm really looking forward to today. Got a nice feel. Love being back in Latin America. It's been 10 years since I've been back in Latin America. And what I remember from last time is the vibe is always positive. People start late, they end their day late. And I just love the whole feel of it. I'm buzzing to get back out here and check it out for myself. Here we go. San Salvador and El Salvador 10 years ago wasn't viable. Now it is.
A quick egg sandwich in the morning with a coffee, and it's time to head out. It's great to finally be out on the streets of San Salvador. The weather is perfect, and after 10 years, I am finally back in Latin America. What I did remember, however, was that I'd forgotten to buy some sun cream. Luckily, there was a pharmacy on the way, so I bought some on my way to the city. This morning I had no real plan other than to walk into the historical centre and see the main sights. I absolutely love the vibrant noise of the market streets. There's always music blasting out and people conversing everywhere you look. My first site is the National Palace, which is situated on a newly reconstructed road for a bike path which actually extends out of the city. This one replaced the old palace, which was destroyed by a fire in 1889. You can see what was completed in 1911 here, and you can go in to have a look for $5. Well worth it. It's got 4 main rooms and 101 secondary rooms, and the Foreign Ministry uses these for receptions and meetings. As you can see, this leads to the historic Centre Square, which is the main part of the capital city, mixing old and new. Here you will see the National Palace, the Metropolitan Cathedral, National Theatre, Plaza Gallardo Barrios, and the new library. I didn't ponder too much here, as this will be part of my walking tour later on, so I wandered around to the National Theatre to get a coffee and brunch. Cafe Los Negros was my cafe of choice, which is a trendy Western cafe with prices quite high, hanging around the $6 to $7 for chiquiles set. This included coffee, juice, and a meal of nachos with eggs, chicken, onions, cheese, and avocado. It was divine. Next is the library, next to the El Salvador sign, which is a pretty cool photo to go and get. Just ask a local to get one for you. The main square in San Salvador. Got that fantastic church cathedral behind. Got to check that out later with my walking tour. But just got a nice feel for the place. Busy. That is the library, very modern. More content in that in a bit as well. This is a stunning location. Vibe is exciting, people loving it, positivity, sunny, warm, some stuff going on there for events. Absolutely loving the first day in El Salvador. Then I walked over to the Jardín Centro America next to the palace for a nice walk amongst the fountains. You can get water from the vendors on the street here for $1 if you need. So I went to the cafe, had a proper coffee, needed that. Now walking these lovely gardens here. And look at this. Absolutely glorious. Gonna sit here, chill out, enjoy the fountain. Who doesn't love a fountain? Absolutely scorching today as well. Got the sun cream, support that, applied it. Yeah. To finish my morning, I went to check out this brand new spanking library, built in conjunction with the Chinese. is open 24/7 and has great Wi-Fi. There are 7 floors with some spectacular views at the top, and the staff are quite young, which means they speak English if you need to speak to them. Just beware, if you're taking a laptop in, you'll need to register that at the front desk and provide proof of an ID. I walked back to the hostel to freshen up, ready for the arrival of Dave, who is a local tour guide and my free walking tour guide later on. He has agreed to speak on my podcast, the Winging It Travel podcast. For the full episode, please check this out in February. And for now, here's a snippet for you.
Hello listeners and viewers. Today I've got a local friend of mine called Dave. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm doing fine, James. I really appreciate that you have come to El Salvador. This is the land of the pupusas, right? So we definitely have a lot to share, and it will be a good, a good opportunity that now we have with the viewers from all around the world,
Sure.
so they can basically experiment what we are experiencing nowadays, basically.
After an amazing chat, we headed in an Uber to Park Cuscatlan, where we'll meet the other members of the tour group. Here Dave takes over and gives us an awesome tour of San Salvador with some great facts.
Approximately 100 volcanoes in the country. You can go to the Salvador volcano. Next to it you have the Salto volcano. You are in the Cerro Verde volcano.
The full tour details are in the show notes, where you can book with Dave on Guru Walk, and be sure to tip him good.
Cultural things. That's horas.
Dave's walking tour is going absolutely awesome. So much information, ticking off all the sites, and he's got a real local perspective as he's from San Salvador and he's in his 40s, so he's got the full spectrum of Civil War, gangs, and now here we are. Awesome, highly recommend.
We wandered down to Calle Acre, checking out the Basilica de Sagrado Corazon de Jesus, which is an awesome cathedral and a very important one for San Salvador's history. I love this vendor blasting out the music. What a vibe.
There we go. Yeah, now we're in.
Christmas is about to come. You're going to start listening to that.
We had time to give the traditional game of Caparucho a go, and my word, it's hard, but super fun.
A surprise. All right, let's do it. Let's see if you can do it.
Here's an expert at work.
You have to use 2 hands. All right.
Oh, lo siento. Hello.
Christmas is right here in November 10th. Can you believe that? November 10th.
Day is turning into night as we head into the historic centre. I just love the positivity in the air, the loud music which makes you want to dance, and it's great seeing everyone out on a Sunday night enjoying themselves. And please take note, it is super safe.
Look at that beauty.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that beauty. It's a museum. It was renovated 2 months ago.
Huh.
So all of this, it has been painted. It has been renovated. That is.
It's great to see the sights from earlier all lit up in the night sky. Magical.
The National Palace from that side. They are touristic cars. That's right. Otherwise, they are not allowed. Look how lively this country is.
Back in Jardin, Central America, this guy sounded so good playing his violin, or cello, I'm not an expert, over a backing track. I could have stayed here for hours listening to him. Check this out. We're now winding down the tour, and Dave shows us the Bitcoin machine in case you want to use any for tips, payments, or just to have in your wallet. And we said goodbye to our awesome guide, Dave, and headed up to the Morris rooftop for a tapa-style dinner and beers. We reflected on a great day and all the information we heard during our tour and all the sights that we saw. What a fantastic day, and I was eager for more. For more information on Dave in terms of the podcast interview, check out the link in the show notes, and you can also check out Guru Walk to book a tour with Dave. Next morning, I'm up for breakfast at the hostel early before heading into the city once again. The 25-minute walk is very easy to follow without Google Maps. I took a slightly different route this time, but my first stop is a coffee at Cafe Fulanos, which was mentioned on Dave's tour last night. This is super trendy.
Day 2 in San Salvador, and I had a fantastic day yesterday walking around 17,000 steps, and I've just got an awesome coffee here called Bourbon, which is a mix of El Salvadorian and Brazilian coffee beans, so the altitude of El Salvador and the masterful beans of Brazil. And today I'm meeting Carlos, who's another guide here in San Salvador. He's going to walk us around this afternoon. I'm hoping to get some more information about the country. We're going to see some different stuff on that tour, so that's going to be cool. And I'm looking forward to trying out some more food later. We had a brilliant little dinner last night on a rooftop restaurant bar, which is about 5 floors up, had a nice outlook of the city. And that was pupusas, some bocadillos, and some Coke. Brilliant. Coca-Cola, that is. So day 2, here we go. Got a coffee here in this place here. Super trendy. These are sort of Western type trendy cafes, so not too many locals in here. That's cool. It's right in the centre of town. Loads of people walking by, can people watch for a bit. I'm looking forward to another day in this great country. Let's go.
Mexican food is loved here, so I had a quick stop for lunch before heading to the square again to meet my next tour guide, Carlos.
Sitting in the city square, doing a bit of people watching. Had someone come up to me, ask a few questions. No idea what they're saying. We're meeting at this statue here. Right bang in the middle of the historic Centro. I'm looking forward to getting a different perspective from a different tour guide this time. He's a bit younger than Dave, so I'm going to see what he's going to say about El Salvador, San Salvador, and what to see. Really looking forward to it. Carlos is coming on the podcast after the tour as well, so we're going to do a chat about that. Yeah, you can't beat a bit of people watching, can you? Lots going on, collecting sounds, lots of different people. Very busy midday on a Monday. I assume people should be working, but hey, what do I know? Who cares?
And we kicked off the tour in Plaza Libertad, and Carlos gave us a breakdown of the full history of El Salvador, and we walked around the statue to meet Gustavo, another member of the tour. And first up is Iglesia Rosario, a significantly important part of El Salvador's history and San Salvador in particular. There is a small fee to enter, but don't worry, just look at this place.
It's incredible.
Ruben Martinez, who designed it, who's the architect, declared, "This is a church facing the people and not fleeing before God." Everything you see symbolises something important, and at first hand you can see the bullet holes, which are quite sombering. I can't do it justice for the importance, so you'll have to check it out yourself or get a guide like Carlos to explain its significance. We settled in to the Cuban bar of Cha 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 to sit outside and watch the world go by as Carlos talked to us more about El Salvador. As dusk approached, we headed into the Metropolitan Cathedral. I am not religious in the slightest, but I do love sitting in churches or cathedrals and sitting in silence, reflecting. I love the smell of the place, the vibe, and it's great just to think about a few things a few times.
We have a big entrance right there. Above the main entrance, we have something called Cross of Thunder. We have a big aisle. If you see on the screens, we have a lot of cultural activities here. Most of these activities are sponsored by the government, central government. So that means these activities are free, in case they are not. Now, what is the food? We have as a breakfast or at lunch. It's the exact same thing.
We're now walking into an area previously which was dominated by gangs, and on the way we stopped off for a drink, and this guy loves football. This park here is between a road where prominent gangs used to operate, and now there are no gangs and people milling about their daily lives around the markets. You will see military and police patrolling, but it's totally safe.
Back there. So this area was dangerous because the gangs.
To finish the evening, it was dinner with Carlos and all-day breakfast joint at the bottom of Morris Rooftop. Beans, eggs and chili con carne. Anything better? Not sure. Thank you to Carlos for showing me around on his free walking tour. As ever, if you want to find out more information, head to the show notes for the link to Guru Walk. Thanks, Carlos, for showing me and Gustavo around San Salvador, giving your insight into the city. There's some great history, great facts and great sights. Appreciate it. He very kindly came on to the Winging It Travel podcast. Here's a snippet for you.
And all the big transformation of this city when it was really, really dangerous to now, which is a city booming, especially in the tourist sector.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I grew up in a neighborhood called San Jacinto, which is not that far away from the city center.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I went to school and then to the National University, Universidad del Salvador. I studied there industrial engineering. I didn't finish a career, but luckily I love languages.
For now, this is my time in San Salvador completed, and I'll be back to the city later on in the series. But for now, it's one final walk to the library to use their Wi-Fi and one final look at this marvellous city before moving on to Suchitoto. A lot of capital cities get a bad rep and tarnished with not visiting, but I 100% recommend visiting San Salvador. I met great people, saw fantastic sights and had some great coffee. Oh, and of course the pupusas. I've not mentioned pupusas yet, but they are a national dish of El Salvador and you must try them. I had about 100 and I could not get enough of them. After a great start to my 1 month Central America trip and journey in El Salvador, now it's time to head on to the local bus to Suchitoto. Amanecilla is the bus station for the bus to Suchitoto, so I got an Uber there, and when I arrived, the very kind staff at the station pointed me in the right direction towards the bus. Just look out for the big yellow school bus on the left hand side of the station, and the hour-long journey with a bag costs $1.50. I'd get on at the bus station if I was you because it is free for a seat, as the bus journey gets pretty full as we go on to Suchitoto. After an uneventful journey, I arrived, and now it's time to find my hotel and take a walk.
Yeah, that was a pretty painless bus ride. Hour and a half, got busy in the middle. Ooh, just fall down there. Finished the ride, so we're now gonna try and find our hotel down here. Lovely colourful houses, a very colonial type town, and noise and music and people. Love it.
My hotel choice is the Hotel E Cafe X Marti, Suchitoto, and that costs $45 for 2 nights with breakfast for a private room and bathroom, and it's bang in the centre of town. Suchitoto is one of the best preserved cities in Central America and was the first capital of El Salvador in 1528. However, human activity continued continuously long before the Spanish arrived. The town has these cute little colourful houses and I love walking past them. There's something about colourful houses that I just love. Whether it's in Nova Scotia or here, I just love the feeling of them, the aura and just how they look. There's very few people about as I make my way to get lunch to see the Lake Suchitoto, which Suchitoto towers over. This town is very important to visit to understand the Civil War decades ago, but I'll come back to that towards the end of my video. My first port of call is a recommendation from another traveller, and this is Casa 1800 Suchitoto Boutique, and it's known for its spectacular views over the lake with a trendy chair to sit in, so here it is. The views are pretty awesome, the lunch is great and the coffee tasted amazing. You can also stay here for a much more pricey option in Suchitoto, but with these views it would be worth it. After lunch, I am back on my travels again and I'm making my way to Alejandro Cotto's house. He is one of El Salvador's most successful filmmakers and you can tour his house. However, be warned, you'll need to read Spanish to understand all the information. At $3 entry, this is a great option to learn some local history and a local who lived here until his death in 2015. Be sure to walk in the gardens and head to the back garden overlooking the lake. This has incredible views. Look at this.
Wow. Right people, another gem of a place here. So I'm at Alejandro Cotto's house, or Casa de Alejandro Cotto. It's $3 to go in, and honestly it's worth it just to see his house, but this is why it's worth it. This is unbelievable. Just look at this view. There it is, the lake. Oh, look at that. My word, what a view. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy it. It's a bit hot, but I don't care. That is sensational. So Suchitoto, take a walk down. My hotel is about 7-8 minute walks, all flat. Get to his house, a nice lady will greet you. There's no signs in English, so if you can read Spanish that helps, but honestly just go in and check out this view in the house. My word, I'm going to enjoy that one.
Right now I'm starting to feel that I've settled into El Salvador, and I feel like I'm getting accustomed to the local customs, and after the bus experience I'm very much comfortable travelling around on public transport. What a great choice to visit this amazing country, and I'm only a few days in. After chilling in Alejandro's back garden, it's time to head back to town and the main square. Here you can find the Santa Lucia church from the mid 1800s, and I love its white walls and decor. Entry is free, so it's a great place to reflect. Head on in. The town square has vendors selling ice cream, drinks and street food, and I headed to the streets alongside the church for coffee at Cafe Flamenco, where I had a much needed caffeine boost and ice cream. It was time to return to the hotel for aircon and a shower because the heat is absolutely killing me. I'm not complaining, but I just need a break from it.
What a day. Yeah, early start this morning. I was up really early at 7 I think it was. Packed my stuff up, had breakfast, had a coffee, and another Uber to the bus station, and I caught a local bus. People piled on, there's people hanging off the doors, so that's how busy it gets. And then arrived into the beautiful town of Suchitoto, and it's an important place this because it had a huge part in the Civil War. What a place. Cobble streets, small buildings, all very colourful, a huge cathedral church in the middle of the square. You can walk all the way down one road to any cafe, get a coffee or lunch and have a view of the lake. It's a man-made lake. I think it was put in there maybe 30 years ago. And there's a dam, you can't see it, but it's further down the water. But honestly, the views are incredible. And I've booked in a Civil War tour. Not tomorrow, but on Thursday morning. I think it starts at 7, get back at 1. And this includes a bit of a hike. We get to meet some of the guerrilla post that they used to hang out in. We get to speak to one of the ex-guerrilla people as well. And he talks to us about his time in the military, in the struggle. So this is going to be super cool. Tomorrow is going to be a chill day for me. I've overspent on my budget and I've been quite busy. I feel like I've been up and about all day, every day, so I need to chill a little bit. But I'll definitely walk down to the lake and see it from ground level. I think there's some boats there, I might do that. We'll weigh it up. But overall, I'm loving this town. This is awesome. Kind of giving me feels of like what is to come in terms of Santa Ana maybe, but also Antigua and then Oaxaca later on. That's further down the line, but as we speak today, El Salvador is going great. I love this place. Buzzing.
As day turned to night, I got some wool for my partner Emma and returned to Flamenco for dinner and brownie afterwards. I highly recommend it. And I've absolutely loved my first day in Suchitoto. I love the feel, the vibe, the calmness, the colourful housing and the lake of course. After a great sleep, it was breakfast at the hotel, which is a classic breakfast here of beans, eggs, plantain, toast and coffee. I have booked my first paid tour for El Salvador, and tomorrow morning I'm doing a Civil War tour with Daniel at Suchitoto Eco Tours. Be sure to book in early for this tour as it sells out. The website is in the show notes, but I'll get back to that later on. I'm out for a walk to check out the rest of town and love walking around this place. My next coffee stop is Cafe Abuela, which is super trendy and has great coffee. You cannot not find this place, as it's yellow, huge, next to the church and very distinct.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Good. Yeah. Morning. Second day in Suchitoto, and it's bloody hot. This morning, got up, had an amazing breakfast at the hostel, and then potted around town to get some more photos and videos. Love walking around the town, cobbled streets, old buildings, love all that. And then I went for a coffee, loved it as well, great tasting coffee. They've got a little coffee bag there for about $3. It's tempting, but that means I've got to carry it all the way. But yeah, maybe, might do. Now I'm walking down to the lake. It's about a 25-minute walk, and it's blistering, but it's all downhill from here. Coming back would be an issue. But gonna go down there, get a view of the lake. I think it costs $1 to go in the area. And then I've got a recommendation for a lunch place down there. So I'm hoping for some great views. I may do a boat tour, but it depends how much it is. I don't know what they do, where they go, but we'll see. So today is gonna be a nice chill day, walking around town, down by the lake. And then tomorrow is going to be hiking in the morning, early start. It's going to be sweaty, it's going to be a lot of information, and can't wait to be fair. I haven't really tested that bit yet, so I want to get hiking early doors to see how it goes. So yeah, looking forward to it.
As I mentioned, Suchi sits on a lake you can walk down to, so I'm having a trek down towards there. You can also get taxis there if you don't want to walk, but I decided to walk downhill. Before you enter the park by the water, you must pay the person in the chair at the entrance $1, and this area offers boat tours, a walk-in park and restaurants. Boat tours can cost between $10 to $50 per day, depending on what you want to see around the lake, but look at these views, spectacular. This lake is actually a reservoir, and it was flooded in the 1970s to build a dam, so there are little villages dotted around this body of water. However, for me, it's a park, sitting on the bench, admiring the views with my Kindle, and getting a suntan in. After feeling peckish, I decided to check out this restaurant area. Essentially, there are 10 to 15 places to choose from. They all have people standing outside trying to coerce you in, and it can be a bit overwhelming. I looked at a few menus and picked a random one, but my word, what a choice. Look at these portions, they're huge. And look at this for just $7 US, well worth it. Afterwards, I decided to take one more look at the lake before heading uphill towards the town. And as I was walking, a local very kindly offered me a lift on his motorbike, so I took him up on the offer, and what a guy. There's a cafe on my list to visit, but every time I've been there, it's been closed. But this time, as I was on my way back, it was open. So it's time to dip into Cafe X Canal, and this has some of the best coffee I've ever had. 100%. The heat gets to me quite a bit, so it's back to the hotel room for a chill in the aircon before heading out in the evening. And dinner is at El Rinconcito. And this is quite a cheap option for a tourist. Around the corner from the back of the hotel, plenty of options. I had dinner there and it tasted great. Next morning is an early alarm call as I had to pack my bag, leave it at the hotel and head across the road to another hotel to meet the G-Adventures group to join the Civil War tour with Daniel at Suchitoto Eco Tours. A 7:30 meeting and we're off in the van for the start of the tour. The tour combines nature, history, meeting a war veteran and small towns. It costs $50 US per person and it needs at least 4 people on a tour to go ahead. This is quite a big tour group as I joined G-Adventures, and the first stop was Sinquera, where I got a better understanding of the Civil War and why it started.
It was full of, there was slavery, highest leaders,
My favourite part of the tour, however, was getting the chance to speak to a war veteran from the guerrilla rebel forces of El Salvador, in brackets the left-hand side.
Offensive of our war. We focused our offensive on taking over the capital, San Salvador, with our weapons by assault. Our idea was to take over the whole thing, to push the government into negotiating with us, because in the capital is where the houses of the rich families were.
Que por suerte estamos de aniversario nosotros. Yo estoy contento porque estamos en un aniversario más de algo que...
Honestly, I had 100 questions and could have sat there all day, but I got 2 questions in as the group had other questions too, and we sat there for 30 minutes. Daniel translated for us. Then we grabbed our hiking poles and headed up into the second largest nature reserve in El Salvador to visit the guerrilla camps and see some great nature along the way.
You get that water to fill up the pool with the crush plant to begin the decomposition process of it, so the active ingredient.
It was so muggy, my word. This is one of the more terrifying sights that we saw on the way.
Yeah, it's coming.
Another highlight of this tour was this view. Just look at it, come on! Now it's time to hear Daniel's heavy metal band.
That's the way up.
To reflect on a great tour, we dipped into the waterfall and chilled out. It was very serene. I absolutely loved this. It's well worth the price. A mix of meeting people, hiking, and understanding the history of this country. And thanks to Daniel and Juan, who's another tour guide with G-Adventures, for making me feel welcome. It was a great experience, and as I said, all the details are in the show notes for you to check out. The end of this tour was the end of my stay in Suchitoto, as I headed to the hotel to pick my bag up, then to the bus station to catch the 129 bus to San Salvador. My plan is to stay the night to use the library for some podcasts and YouTube admin before heading to El Zonte the next day. I arrived in San Salvador quite late and stayed at the Lorenzo Hotel this time. I must say I don't recommend this place 100%. The beds were hard and it's very noisy. I did check out one of Carlos's recommendations for a local dinner and had this. Now it's time to reflect on Suchitoto as I walked to the bus station to catch my bus to El Zonte. I loved it, loved the place. The setting by the lake is serene, it's super quiet with friendly locals. The buildings are colourful, giving you a sense of history and hope. With an important past in El Salvador's history, the Civil War tour is a must, and with nature involved in the tour, you get to see and hear about both sides of humanity and the nature in question. The coffee is out of of this world. There are so many cafes to choose from, and as I continue my Central America travels, you will see some great coffee, but Ixcanal will be in the top 3 100%. The accommodation here is much cheaper for much higher end options like a hotel with a private room and aircon. And finally, I just want to say I met the most amazing people here. Daniel from the Suchitoto Eco Tours, all the way to the cafe owners, to the random locals on the street. I almost felt at home, which is the biggest compliment I can give. When you plan El Salvador, this is a must inclusion for your itinerary. Get it done. I spent the night in San Salvador, checked out my hotel, and I'm now heading to the bus station to catch the 102 bus to the coast. You can also catch buses to El Tunco at this bus station too, but only certain buses carry on to El Zonte. I bought a ticket as I boarded for $1.50, then had to pay the same again for my bag, but I had a nice seat for the journey, and it's pretty painless. You will need to flag down your stop at the bus stop you want to get off at, so get your Spanish ready. Be sure to get off at the second stop for El Zonte, which is the surf beach. If you want Bitcoin Beach, that's the next stop. For the next 2 nights, I booked an Airbnb at Ronald's complex for $110, and this includes my own room, air conditioning, and a bathroom. I was actually too early to check in, so I headed straight into the main township to grab lunch. I decided to park up in Merendero El Teco, which has great views of the surf beach. I got a burger and chips and a Coke for $5. This is a very popular spot for tourists due to its very nice prices. Look at these surfers, I do admire them. I have a fear of deep water, so even trying to swim here is a big deal for me, let alone surfing. That's a different level for me. El Zonte is known to be a surfer's paradise and one of the best spots in the world to surf. The vibe here is the surfer types from the USA, Australia, Canada, Brazil. So very laid back, people get up late, base their day off the tide, and it's not really my sort of vibe traditionally, but I'm willing to chill in it for a few days and check it out. So I managed to check in, but then the rain came. Luckily my Airbnb has a hammock and I was in here all afternoon with my Kindle.
Arrived into El Zonte. The bus was fairly painless in the end, a tad confusing at the start, but got there in the end, and I've walked into the minute little township by the water, and it's lovely and quaint. Black sand beach, lots of surfers, lots of maybe high-end restaurants. Staying here is more expensive than El Tunco, but I managed to find what I think is a reasonable deal on Airbnb, and that is a little private sort of guest room really, but all these come with 2 beds, so divided by 2, it's pretty cheap. I think this is about 75 Canadian a night. I'm in a hammock, I'm going to read my book. There's a pool over there that I can go in, there's a kitchen over there, but I went for lunch, and lunch is $3 or $4, so if I want to cook pasta, it's probably going to cost the same, so I'll weigh that one up. But it's absolutely tipping it down at the minute. This is not beach weather, there's thunder, I assume there's lightning, and unless you're in the water, what else are you going to do? So I thought I'd chill here in the hammock, read my book, and then I'll go out towards the beach this evening, see what's going on, and I might try and find some laundry as well.
The downpour was insane. I did manage to pop around the corner to El Vikingo for an expensive Thai meal at $20, and it tasted great.
Right, day of exploring. It's not raining yet, so I'm getting out there. Gonna check out the beach, the Cathedral Cove, and get some breakfast and some good coffee. I'm really looking forward to checking out El Zonte. This is the Airbnb. There's a pool down there, some little guest houses, some hammocks. Real nice down there, so gonna head out onto the road. A 10-minute walk down to the beach. Really looking forward to it. Sunny day, let's hope the rain holds off.
I quickly learnt that getting out early is the name of the game, as the rain will hold off till early afternoon, and the tide times will enable me to visit Cueva El Zonte. So make your way to Bitcoin Beach. I was there at 8:30, so the tide was at its lowest point. We'll come back to this cafe at some point. So as you can see, we make our way to the beach past the skate park. And as I enter to the beach, this is giving me Hawaii vibes right now. Look at this. absolutely stunning. Black sand, lovely waves, warm. The water is warm as well, loving it. And the sound of the waves is blissful. Is there a better sound? I'm not sure. Honestly, with this amazing sound, you can wish away and push away all your problems. To get to Quaver, I walked down this epic black sand beach and I wasn't really sure what to expect, but someone told me this would look like a cathedral cove in the water, so here goes. Here we go. We're about to approach a gap in the beach and traverse some rocks. And just look at this. This is awesome. There's literally no one here either. How is there no one here? Loving these views. This is exactly what I hoped for. El Salvador just keeps delivering. My word, this is dreamy. The properties on this beach look pretty big and pretty expensive. The water is so warm, and as you can see, this is a non-surf side. Just look at these views, I cannot get enough of it. There's literally one family in the water, and that is it. You could probably chill in that all day. This is a good time to tell you more about El Zonte. This place was one of the first locales in El Salvador to accept Bitcoin. Surf classes here cost between 10 to 50 US dollars, and in 2023, the dirt roads were converted to brick. El Tonko is down the road, which is his brother. It's kind of known for being a bit of a party place on the coast, and here is much more chilled. You can get a bus between them pretty easily, and just make sure you give yourself enough time.
So I arrived at El Zonte Beach, only a 10-minute walk from town, and arrived to this amazing thing. Look at that. You can only visit that in low tide, so it's low tide at the minute. I think it gets low tide another 12 hours later, so about 8:45-ish. But this beach is magical. It reminds me of Hawaii actually, the black beach, black sand beach. There is no one really here. This is pretty sensational. Look at this. Literally no one. So I say, in El Salvador, this is a must, because El Tunco gets all the parties and all the surfs, but here there's no one here. I know it's a tad more expensive, but what do you expect for 40 quid a night? Look, you've got a beach to yourself. There's a family in there. They probably know that I'm here. One slight downside is that I stepped in a puddle with my shoes on. I'm going to transfer to flip-flops in a minute, but no rush. Got all day here. Well, not in this bit because this will be full of water, but I really enjoy this bit, I think. And sit over there. Yeah, lovely.
I know I said in the last video that X Canal had one of the best coffees I've ever had. Well, Point Break Cafe is about to rival it. The coffee was so good that I had 2 within 10 minutes. I couldn't help myself. Situated just behind the beach, this cafe opens around 9:30, give or take, and serves bagels as well as other breakfast items. A great place to hang out with a coffee, and my word, so good. I knew the rain was on its way, so I decided to take advantage of the weather to go back to the beach and hang out there with my Kindle. The rain did come, but I did manage to dip into Kangaroo restaurant on my side of the town for lunch, and another view of the surfers doing their thing. A cheap local recommendation for dinner is Pupuseria JC. It's $1 a pupusa and has many options, including vegan options. Just be wary, it gets really busy and there can be a wait to get your pupusas out. But sit down, make an order, and they'll call your name and bring it out to you. This is my last morning in El Zonte, and before I board 2 buses to Santa Ana today, I'm heading back to Bitcoin Beach and Point Break Cafe.
Early morning walk along the beach. I actually went to go to the cafe first. It says open at 8, but it's Latin America, so it says 8, could be 9. So she told me to come back in 20 minutes, so I thought I'd go for a walk first. Lovely morning. Tide is definitely out today. I didn't go down this side of the beach yesterday, so looking forward to checking it out. It'll be the same, but why not? Yeah. Today I'm going to Santa Ana. It's 2 buses. So one to San Salvador, then I've got to transfer to a different bus station and then get another bus. And then I booked 3 nights there because I want to stay somewhere just for a bit of time and have 2 or 3 full days. So Santa Ana, volcanoes on the list. Got some Mayan ruins on the list, so it should be a good couple of days.
This river is your reference point when considering where to stay in El Zonte and what you're looking for. The majority of the hotels and hostels are the side that I stayed in. If you want more quieter but more expensive accommodations, that's where I was for the Cathedral Cove in the beach. Bitcoin Beach is pretty cool. It's got some festivals and local people hanging about on markets. That's cool to check out. Not a bad place to hang out either. I just cannot get over this bagel and coffee, my word. I don't know what to make of this. So now I've checked out and I'm heading back to the 102 bus to San Salvador before heading on to the Tubo Red bus to Santa Ana. So I'm on the first one heading to San Salvador before catching the next bus from Terminal de Buses de Occidente to Santa Ana. This is the red Tubo bus that I must get on to Santa Ana, and it costs $1, and it's time to get some snacks for the ride. I got off at McDonald's on the outskirts of town and decided to walk to my hostel Altea.
Welcome to Santa Ana. Got a 25-minute walk straight through down this road right to the hostel. It's much cooler here, not as humid, and maybe not as busy, but it is a Sunday, so yeah, let's go.
And as you can see, it's very quiet. My first impressions are lovely colourful buildings, tight streets, and a very chilled atmosphere. The rain is slightly annoying though. I arrived at Altea Hostel, which is north of the city centre, and my private room with a shared bathroom cost $13 a night. Great value, and that comes with breakfast. I arrived late, so I was heading out to find food, and I found these hot dogs on the street for $1 a piece. Great value. I was pretty tired from the journey, but I decided to head out into town at night and look at these lit up buildings. Magical. El Salvador does this very, very well. It's time to retire for the evening at the hostel before my free walking tour tomorrow morning. I absolutely need this breakfast for the day ahead.
Morning all. First day in Santa Ana, and I've booked in an early walking tour. I thought the rain is here And I don't want to do the volcano today because I might not see it. And then also want to see the city first, kind of check in, see what it's about. So I'm going to meet Fatima for a walk for 2.5 hours. The rain is here, it is cloudy, so I'm not going to need these anymore for the time being. And it's looking like this the next couple of days, so I'm going to try and strategically plan my activities to make sure I get the best weather for the volcano. So it's about a 5-10 minute walk into town from the hostel, just there. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Santa Ana is about. She's got a coffee stop en route as well, which is going to be awesome. Another city, this is the second city in El Salvador, so I'm keen to check it out. I walked through yesterday, it's quite small. It's got this cute cathedral like it always has, the theatre and stuff like that, so it's going to be great. Let's do it.
I'm walking to the town centre to meet Fatima and the rest of the group outside the theatre. I booked Fatima's walking tour on Guru Walk and the details are in the show notes. Phil and Catherine from Switzerland are with me on this tour, and unfortunately the rain is quite relentless and I don't own an umbrella, which could be an absolute error. Cathedral de Nuestra is first up for us, and let's take a peek inside.
Because of the pigeons that we have here.
Fatima is describing the importance of this to the people of Santa Ana, and it's also a nice break from the rain. You can head up the stairs to the rooftop for $2 on Fatima's tour, or $3 at any other time in the week for great city views. Let's go on a dizzying walk. Look at these great views. The grey clouds aren't going to stop us from enjoying them, although I must admit I'm thankful to Fatima for letting me use her umbrella. Fatima decided to take us to Cadet Cafe earlier than expected as we needed some respite. This is a super cool, trendy cafe. You've got to knock on the door and wait for them to let you in. So when they open the doors, they invite you in. You get a speak-easy vibe. And the coffee tastes unbelievable. And I just love the vibe of this place, and I will be back. After an hour or so of talking to Fatima and learning about Santa Ana and her life, we decided to take a gamble outside to finish the tour, which first involved a souvenir shop.
Oh, be careful.
Then we wandered over to the library and theatre. Here you can handle books and newspapers that are over 100 years old.
So this is 200-300 years old?
More than.
More than? Wow.
I felt a little bit uneasy touching them as I didn't want to destroy them. It's quite rare you get this opportunity to handle something this old. On certain days of the week, anyone, even tourists and of course locals, can sign up for painting or music classes. Just put your name down and hang out with locals in a cool, creative environment. It's free and it's unreal. Kudos to Santa Ana. We headed upstairs to take a look at the theatre hall.
a new market because the people who are selling here, they are pushing the mayor. They need the same location.
Fatima showed us a local market before we called it early due to the rain, and we headed back. Thanks so much, Fatima. We loved you showing us around. You're smiley, positive, spoke great English too, and is an absolute plus for Santa Ana if someone was on your tour. People be sure to book with her, and the information is in the show notes. During the night, I haven't heard rain like that in a long, long while.
Right, second full day in Santa Ana, and the rain, for now, has stopped. So we're getting straight out there and hopefully see more of Santa Ana, but in the daylight with no rain. So I'm going to see bits and pieces, get some more footage and check out the town before hopefully tomorrow either the El Carmen Estate coffee tour or Santa Ana Volcano, but that depends on how much cloud there is, also the rain. I don't want to push that because I want to do it once. I think Friday is looking the best day for sun, so I might have to switch some things around. Anyway,
so first I headed to the Cadec Cafe for another coffee and a bit of planning, and Phil and Catherine joined me too. We checked out the centre before heading out to an abandoned art school that Phil found online. We're not really sure what to expect, but hey, let's take a walk and see what we find. There's a no entry sign to the Mariano Mendez Art School, but there is a guard there. So be sure to go up to him, ask if you're allowed to go in, and technically you're not supposed to due to safety concerns, but he'll give you 15-20 minutes to look around. You have to check this out because look at this place. Isn't this quirky, eerie and spectacular all at the same time? This was abandoned many years ago and was scheduled for demolition shortly after, but thankfully its tragic fate was overruled in recent years.
buenas. Okay, okay. Okay. In Santa Ana, we're kind of stuck a little bit because it's raining yesterday and everything's closed because I need to check for damage because so much rain. So we're kind of struggling for what to do in Santa Ana, and we had a suggestion to go to the old art school, and we're here. And actually you can't come in this place because it's quite dangerous. Parts of the buildings are falling off and the trees are collapsing, and anyway, there's a cordon not to go in, but the security guard waved us over and he said, yeah, you can go in for a little bit of time, 10-15 minutes, but be quick, no charge. He said just be careful, walk around and check it out. And it's the most unusual place, absolutely gutted out, and it looks quite nice, I imagine, back in the day. But yeah, so this is a little hidden tip for Santa Ana. Probably not officially safe, but it looks okay to me. It's not the worst thing I've seen in the world. Art school, Google, Santa Ana, and you'll find this place. It's a quick 10-minute walk from the city. Interesting.
After a strange and wonderful experience, we had lunch at a local favourite in El Salvador, Polo Compero. Can you beat a bit of fried chicken? Not sure. Post lunch, it was time for a drink and a view at Simmer Down. This is a rooftop bar with great views over the city centre. They're open late and it's very much a Western cafe with quite high prices.
There's even more things here on the rails. They don't have any wires.
We started to notice that the clouds were clearing, so we went back to the cathedral, paid the $3, headed back up to the rooftop to get some views. And this is a godsend. Look at this. The clouds are clearing, blue skies, and it's now heading towards sunset. Dreamy. For post-view snack, we headed to El Sin Rival. This is a recommendation from Fatima because this apparently is the best ice cream in Santa Ana. So we followed her advice, had some, and I can confirm, pretty good. Dinner was at Cafe Tejas with Catherine and Phil, and for some reason I chose a hot dog with chili con carne, and my last experience with hot dogs on the street, I didn't react well to them, so I'm surprised I chose this again. And just before this meal, I had booked a tour with those guys at their hostel to hike the volcano tomorrow. The weather is clearing up, so we're pretty confident we can go up there and hike there, and it costs $20 for transport. If you did it yourself, the cost would be around $20 anyway with Ubers, unless you're going to rent a car, so I didn't feel too bad paying this price. Santa Ana Volcano is one of my top things to see and do in El Salvador, but to summarize the city, Santa Ana is a much smaller city than San Salvador but bigger than Suchitoto, and I feel 2 to 3 days is enough to see the city. But if you want to base yourself here and see other areas around the city, that's a pretty good idea too. The abandoned art center, that's an amazing free experience you can do in the city, and I'm grateful to Fatima for showing us around in the rain and also showing us to Cathedral Cafe for a wonderful coffee experience. Thank you Santa Ana City and its people. As always, Salvadorians are the most kindest, genuine people that I've met. I actually felt a bit ropey from the night before. I had a bad stomach from my hot dogs at Cafe Tejas and I didn't get much sleep either, so I wasn't feeling too good. I nearly cancelled, but I made my way out to go and see Phil and Catherine at Casa Verde Hostel to join the group tour. This costs $20 to hike the Santa Ana volcano and then spend the afternoon around Lake Coatepeque. This includes all transport too. Despite the weather clearing up, we hit a bit of a snag when we got to the gates.
Okay?
It's this,
Very
okay.
good, okay.
Okay, so he's taking us to the ruins first and then to the lake.
Okay.
Oh, okay. The gates were closed and our driver Tony was shocked and couldn't believe it, so he's straight on the phone to make a few calls. It was confirmed by the ministry it was closed today. They did not send out a media communication, so now we had to figure out a plan B for the day. As a group, we decided to visit Tazumal, an architectural complex within the larger area of the ancient Mesoamerican city of Chalchuapa, a 45-minute drive away, and the entry is $5 for foreigners. Actually, I'm pretty pleased about this. I don't feel too good. I was nearly sick on the way up to the gates of the national park for the volcano, and this was on my list.
Oh, never heard of that. Yeah, it's my first.
Seeing mine ruins is one of my top 3 aims for the whole trip, so the main aim is to see Tikal, but I'll happily check out this place too, and what a day to explore. It is so hot, my word.
So plan B today, had a bit of a rough night with my stomach last night, but managed to stem the flow of watery shits, and then we went to the lake, which is open, but the volcano is closed today, which we didn't know. So on this tour we've done plan B, and we're at Tazumal Mine Ruins, which you can see just behind me there. So I'm gonna go and check that out, read about it, looking forward to seeing my first ever mine ruins, and let's see what we can find.
But this place is absolutely awesome. Look at the sights of this. Archaeological investigations indicate that Tasumal was inhabited from the Classic period, so AD 250 to AD 900 through to the post-Classic. The site had links to Central America, the northern Yucatan Peninsula and lower Central America.
It is brutally hot today and I am suffering with my stomach. I've not got much energy because everything's been taken out of me, but at least I'm not going to the toilet every 2 minutes. I just have no appetite. There's nothing I really fancy to eat. The only thing I really fancy is a Coke. That might give me some energy, some sugar. But pretty gutted, but I'm going to try and push through and get up these Roman ruins.
After a great 2 hours of exploring and learning more about the site in the Company Centre, it was time to head back on to the minibus. Next, as a group, we decided to head to Ataco on the Ruta de las Flores. Again, I'm very happy about this, as this road was on my list, so I get to explore one little town on the route, and this had been a recommendation from a previous guest on my podcast. As we arrived, we were slightly harassed by restaurant owners trying to get us to go to their restaurant for lunch, but we walked around to check out the local architecture and park. Then we headed to Hokicalco restaurant, which had great options for lunch and drinks.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can eat right now.
After lunch, we took a stroll into the city some more, and I love the little cobble streets here and the street art.
Here. Yeah, he's making some money off you.
I also noticed many trendy cafes where you can sit down, have a coffee outside and watch the world go by. I saw a lot of backpackers doing this, but we decided to go to Dulce Sofia Pasteleria, and the coffee was great too. After a long day, it was time to head back to the city and the hostel. I was pretty relieved to get through the day, head back to the hostel, chill out, get some sleep, and then go again for attempt 2 the next day.
Morning all, hoping for a bit more luck today that the volcano is open. So just had some breakfast, had a great night's sleep, ready for it. It's looking a beautiful day. I'm going to head over to the other hostel in about an hour and let's hope the journey up is okay. Yesterday I got a bit queasy on the way up, so don't need that again. But hopefully it's open, get trekking, see this amazing thing, and then go and see the lake as well next to it. Should be a good day, it's going to be great weather, and it's going to be with good people, so let's go.
This morning, I'm walking back to the hostel for attempt 2, and it's exactly the same again. $20, pretty much the same group, in the same minivan, the same driver, same tour. Let's go. We were assured today that the volcano grounds were open, and as we arrived, they were, which is the first result of the day.
The volcano is open. We are going to hike up. It's a bit cloudy, so we can't go all the way to the top at the minute, but it might get better. I'm just hoping to see the crater, that's the main thing. And it's $3 when you arrive within this group here, and then $3 at the top, and it shouldn't be too hard a walk. Here we go.
We paid our guide $3, who collected the bigger group, and we started to ascend towards the volcano. So let's go on a little bit of a journey. At this point, you pay your entrance fee to the park, which is another $3, and this fee is in form of a ticket, which you give to the official before continuing up the trail.
This hike is rated 4 out of 10 by our guide, and I think he's right. It's not too bad. A few steps up, then a flat bit like this, but quite busy. There's 2 big groups here, and there's like a queue. So that's worth noting if you're looking to do this. We're hoping the wind dies off and the cloud clears a little bit so we can get to the top and see the crater. But let's see how far we get.
The guide told us that there were potential high winds at the top, and if there were, we wouldn't see much as they wouldn't let us up. And as you can see here, there was considerable cloud cover too, but we still trudged on towards the meeting point.
Oh dear.
As we walked up, we spoke to another guide coming down, and he told us we won't see anything and they won't let us up. But there's still that little bit of hope that when we get there, things might change. So we carried on. We got to this point and stalemate. There's a policeman at the top here who is not letting anyone through due to safety, which I do actually agree with, because why risk it? However, I'm sure he could have messaged the guides back down to the start point on his walkie-talkie to let us know. But hey, we're all disappointed, 2 days of trying and no luck. Bit unlucky.
Is another volcano as well. So we have in this area 3 volcanoes.
We waited 30 minutes just in case, because you never know, and then people started to head down, so we did too. At least we got some decent views on the way down though, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I did have a recommendation from TikTok for a coffee as a consolation prize here, so I asked Tony if we could stop there on the way back, and he agreed, and I felt this might perk the group up. So we stopped off at Crater Restaurant and Coffee Shop. Supposedly, it has amazing views of Coatepec Lake, so let's take a look. Yeah, it does. Look at this. Absolutely unbelievable. What a view for a coffee. I was a little bit relieved because this is on my list, and in my eyes it's not a bad backup option for a view, and I think this is one of the best views I've ever had with a coffee. My word, this is stunning. I bought Tony a coffee as a thank you, and the group were perked up from the disappointment of earlier. What an experience. So we made our way down to Lake Coatepec. We had drinks and food in Octava Maravilla restaurant. They do have great views outside of the lake, but it's quite windy, so we sat inside. After another long day, we headed back to our hostels and had agreed to meet at Pupuseria Claudia. This was a recommendation from Fatima on the walking tour from a few days ago. The pupusas are out of this world, about $1 to $1.50 each. We sat there, had 3 or 4 each, can of Coke, and reflected on our time in Santa Ana, and for me, El Salvador. Is there a better way to finish my trip in El Salvador than eat pupusas? Not sure. Towards the end of the meal, I met Nick for the first time. He had booked a shuttle bus over to the border to Guatemala at 4 a.m. the next morning, which I had too. A bit of a coincidence. I said goodbye to my tour group for the very last time. We took some photos, shook some hands, gave some hugs, and I left towards my hostel to pack up my stuff to see Nick at 4 a.m. the next morning. As I head over to Guatemala, it is now time to reflect on my whole time in El Salvador. This country amazed me. When booking my trip, I was nervous and unsure, but Dave, the walking tour from San Salvador, quickly quashed those fears on my first day in the city. I loved seeing the capital city with Dave and Carlos, learning about the country's history, the importance of each buildings, the history of the people, and understanding their journey to this point in time. Suchitoto next was a highlight and one of my favourite places. I love the people, the small town feel, the lake and the coffee. Despite being battered by Storm Sara, El Zonte was a great relaxing break as I chilled on the black sand beaches before finishing in Santa Ana, where I met so many amazing locals and fellow travellers. We got to explore the city, drink fantastic coffee at Cadec, and try to hike the Santa Ana volcano. Maybe these things happen for a reason, and I'm not too concerned about not making the summit, because that just means I need to come back to the country, and I definitely will. There's much more to learn, see, do, and eat, especially more pupusas, and I've got to return back to Cadec Cafe, Point Break Cafe, and Ex Marte Coffee for more awesome cups of coffee. I just want to say thank you to the people of El Salvador for your hospitality and to my fellow travellers for making it an awesome experience. A special mention goes to Dave, Carlos, Gustavo, Daniel, Juan, Catherine, Phil, Chris, Nicole, Tony, Fatima, and Nick for making this a wonderful experience for me. Thank you to everyone watching this series on El Salvador, and now it's time to head over the border to Guatemala. For the first episode on Guatemala, click here for me hiking the Acatenango volcano, and thanks for checking out today's episode, and I'll see you next time. Please follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel today, and let's go and see the world. Cheers, Hamo.